what is up, Vero here. As you can see, I have a different background. I finally got my second tripod, so I was able to get my other tripod back for my camera and then move the new tripod, which I got for like 10 bucks on eBay. It's a really cheap, crappy tripod for my webcam, so everything is good now, so it'll be a lot easier for me to record videos with my DSLR now. Woohoo! But anyway, so I wanted to make a video. I've actually recorded this video like 3 times now. This might be my 4th or 5th time, and I need to just stop being really picky and just speak what's on my mind and then edit it together and upload it and then just forget about it and stop worrying so much and being a perfectionist. But I wanted to make a video talking about Disc Priest and kind of healing in general, but more so Disc Priest just because that's the class that I've been playing for the last couple of expansions, and yeah, so that's kind of what we're going to discuss. So, and kind of class design, I guess, in general, but here we go. So a little backstory, I started playing World of Warcraft in Burning Crusade a couple months after it released. It was the first time that I started playing it. I mained a druid pretty much the entire time that I played this game until recently. I leveled a Disc Priest a couple times, but never really made it beyond like level 40. And then in Kata, I started playing a priest, and I just completely fell in love with the class. I ended up leveling 2 priests to 85 them as alts, and I would just, do raids on them if friends needed help or something or whatever. Missed Pandaria, ended up raiding as a mage, deciding I didn't like DPSing, but I didn't want to move my druid back just to heal, because it just wasn't worth the server transfer and the faction change, and I ended up leveling a priest, fell in love with the priest again, leveled my priest all the way to level cap, leveled another priest all the way to level cap. I did one primarily as PvE, another as PvP. I did end up completing the tier for Siege of Orgrimmar. I don't remember what rank we were on the server. It was a really high pop server, Storm Rage. But we ended up killing Heroic Garrosh on 10-man, although I was not part of that. And then 25-man when I became the recruitment officer for Premeditated. RIP Premeditated. Sadly, that guild no longer exists, which makes me really sad. But yeah, and then the beginning of this expansion, I raided as a Disc Priest. We did some Mythic, and then I decided I didn't really like raiding, or at least playing the game, period, and quit. And now I'm back and I'm still kind of playing just more casually. I would like to start raiding again, but it's, I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, so I wanted to make a video kind of talking about the changes that Disc went through, and just really several of the other classes. Like Druid kind of has something similar, but the class design itself is just really goddamn fucking boring. To put it bluntly, it is just really, really boring right now. I don't mind being a shield spammer, it's whatever, but that's really all that I am, and it's a little boring. With druids, they're pretty much spamming rejuve, and it gets a little old. It just feels like really lazy gameplay, I guess. I'm not really sure how I would word it. I don't want to be OP as anything as Disc was previously. I think it was during TOT progression that Blizzard said that they were not going to nerf Disc Priest because they were afraid that too many people depended on a Disc Priest in their raid, and that if they nerfed them too much, that raids would fail. Although there are plenty of guilds that completed the tier and did it just fine without a Disc Priest, so whatever. But, the idea of smiting to heal and DPSing to heal and stuff, it was interesting, it was fun, but it was way too overpowered. And the problem with healing in this game in general is that absorbs exist, that a Disc Priest exists. I mean, half the time, if you're a Holy Priest, people go, why? Like, why don't you just go Disc? And, if you enjoy a class and you're not playing, like, super competitively and going for world first, who the F cares what you play? But it got to the point where, so with the new expansion, Blizzard mentioned that they wanted healing to matter, that they wanted us to have more of a thought process with healing instead of just spamming everybody in shields and rejuves and whatever else we had, and absorbs, all that good stuff, and then going AFK. And at the beginning, it really wasn't like that, to be honest. It was a little bit for some classes. There's always those specific healing classes that tend to struggle in the beginning of an expansion, and that's just purely because of gear. We go from this super overpowered gear to, being able to be number 1 DPS and number 1 heals, to feeling like you're not really doing as much damage as you once were, feeling like you're not doing as much healing as you once were, plus with all the changes that they did and like the nerfs and everything when they kind of brought everybody back down, which was definitely needed. It kind of made things a little awkward at first. But when you give a player a little bit of gear, you don't really have to think about it anymore. There's no longer that thought process of, okay, I need to try to conserve my mana. It becomes, what mana? Let me just shield everybody in the raid, go make a sandwich, come back, shield everybody again, go to the bathroom, come back, shield everybody again, go for a jog, go for a mile run, come back, shield everybody again, and you're top heals, and it looks like you've been there the whole time, but you haven't. And it is frustrating because that's what the game has become. It has become spam a couple abilities, and then wait, and then spam, and then wait. I recorded videos before about this expansion and why I'm so disappointed with Warlords of Draenor, and it really just comes down to the classes themselves. I just feel like they didn't really think very well, or I think that like what Blizzard wanted to do was awesome. They wanted, to change the game design. They wanted to kind of dumb it down, and that's totally fine, but I think they might have gone a little too far. It almost feels like you're getting punished for being the better player, and because you really don't have to do a whole lot anymore. You really don't have that many spells on your bar, which is fine. Some spells need to be taken away. You feel kind of like you're not really doing anything because you kind of just shield people up and wait, and then shield people up again, and then you spam Clarity of Will, and it looks like you're doing all of this healing, and you're really not. You're kind of just cheating the system and making it look like you're so awesome. And it's just really frustrating for me as someone who loves playing healers. I've leveled every healer, at least to max level or almost max level, starting in Cataclysm, and I even have 2 priests. I have 2 druids, and it's gotten to the point where I just don't want to play. And I even tried playing a DPS class, and it's even worse for DPS. Like, it's even more boring for them. And then the tanking mechanics are kind of blah. And it just feels like as a whole, the class design for this expansion has just been very, I don't want to use the word lazy because I don't think that they were being lazy. I think they thought that they were doing something that they felt they should have done. I think that they felt that they were improving the game, but in actuality, they really didn't, unfortunately. And maybe that's just me. Maybe other people are totally fine with spamming 1 button or 2 buttons, but I personally am not. I have the attention span of a fucking potato. I can't just sit there and hit 1 button repeatedly because I'm gonna tab out. I don't care if we're doing mythic progression. I will get bored and I will tab out, and then I'll tab back in and make sure I'm not standing in fire, and I can still raid that content and do just fine. I look like I'm doing great when in actuality I'm not really playing it with the dead. I definitely like the idea of healing matter and of, mana mattering and being like, okay, I'm gonna put this spell out and put this spell out and put this on the tank and then put this on the DPS that's standing and shit because melee don't know how to fucking move out of anything. And then I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna regain a little bit of mana, and then we'll do this and we'll do that. But now it's, let me just hit this, hit this, hit this, hit this, okay, let me wait a few minutes. Okay, let me do it again. So I don't know, I'm just overall really disappointed with the game, I guess. And I mean, maybe I need to try another class, maybe I need to just try something else. My game time actually expires in a couple days, and I might renew it, and I might not. I do miss raiding, but I don't think I miss the actual raiding part. I think I just miss hanging out with people and chatting on vent, making jokes and being silly and killing bosses and that feeling of killing a boss and just being like, yes, that's awesome, let's do this again. And even if I wanted to raid again, the guild that I was raiding with no longer exists. Well, the guild exists, but the people that were raiding no longer raid in that guild, and they moved on, and that's been happening to a lot of guilds lately. Is that people are just finding other things to do and finding other games to play or finding other raids to raid with, and it's unfortunate. But this was kind of very battly and stuff. But overall, I'm just really disappointed with healing, I guess, this expansion is what I wanted to say, and just how boring it's gotten and just how, like, meh it is. But let me know in the comment section below what you think about healing, DPS, and even tanking in general. Just how the game design is right now, your thoughts, what you like, what you dislike, and what you hope they improve in the next expansion. But thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys later.